Hello everyone! A very long time ago, we had the Titan Keepers, who finished up the war against the Black Empire. The old gods had ruled the world of Azshara for quite some time. Quite a bit of damage was done to the spirit housed inside, but the Keepers, they were victorious. They were able to imprison the old gods and set about bringing order to the world. A bit of help was needed for that. They created creatures, which are known as the Titan Forged. Creatures like the Vrykul, the Urvan, the Mogu, but also the clockwork Mechagnomes, designed by Keeper Mimiron to help build and maintain their extraordinary machineries. Machines to help the Titan spirit heal and grow, yet the old gods were not completely vanquished, and with time, their manipulations would have quite an effect on the Keepers and their creations. The old god Azshara, he came up with the idea to corrupt the Forge of Wills, the machine that they used to, amongst other things, create their Titan Forged. He came up with the idea to infect it with the curse of flesh. Any Titan Forge created by the machine would fall victim to this affliction. Some would even spread it to previous generations of Titan Forged. The curse of flesh, it would gradually transform many of these infected servants into mortal beings of flesh and blood. Beings who the cunning old gods knew could easily be killed, make them more vulnerable to their corruption. The curse of flesh, it did indeed weaken the Titan Forged and led to, for example, the Urvan becoming the dwarves, Vrykul's offspring becoming the humans, and Mechagnomes turned into the gnomes. That's their origin. And today we see that Azshara's plans, they worked a little bit. He did indeed weaken their creations in certain departments, like immortality, that's no longer on the table. Yet on the other hand, these so-called corrupted beings, they were able to accomplish great things. Even the manifestation of Azshara within Ulduar, he had to bow down to their might. The old gods quickly learned to fear the power of a united Azeroth. So that is how the gnomes we know today came to be. Yet legends say that a few centuries ago, King Mechagon, the last king of the gnomes, he decided to lead his followers in search of a mythical land of technology. He left no clue as to where he was headed, and over time, this legend faded into history. A gnomish fairy tale to tell the children before bedtime. Almost no one expected Mechagon to actually be real. Despite the naysayers, explorer Kervo Cogpipe carried on with his mission. He's been all over the world. He's explored Night Elf ruins, Titan vaults, and Troll empires. With the Alliance going back to Kaltiris, we now found the gnome banging away in a mysterious vault within Tiragards. He was worthy, he said. The secret is here. All his tests were correct. And despite so many voices telling him that he was just chasing a dream, despite his own thoughts turning to doubt, wondering if he had wasted his last precious moments on this world, as it turns out, the gnome was right. He did indeed find the coordinates to Mechagon, and he met the king himself. Their culture, it developed in such a way that replacing parts of your body with mechanical ones, upgrading yourself, that is seen as a prestigious thing and something that must be earned. A mindset only confirmed by seeing their frail old cousin falling victim to the ravages of time. And while the king was once a good leader, one that envisioned a brighter future for his people and did everything in his power to help them acquire it, over time, that mindset had changed. He believed that turning themselves into their robotic forms again, that is the way to go. But not everyone believes the thing that he does. When his vision became misaligned with the dreams of his people, he failed to adapt. Instead, he grew rigid, forcing his will onto others. His son, Prince Edasmin, he could see that what his father is doing is not the right thing. He tried to convince Kervo to leave this place as quickly as he can, to warn the world of his father's plans, the device that he's working on to remove the curse of flesh from all gnomes, humans, dwarves, everyone in the world. And none of them will be given a choice either. But to Kervo, finding Mechagon, it's a dream come true. His life's work is finally complete. And he decides to ignore the prince's warning, and instead, he warns the king. King Mechagon now knows that his son is plotting against him, and he decides to reward Kervo with an instant, complete transformation. The device is turned on, with the lowest setting even, and Kervo is transformed. Mortality will no longer be a problem for the gnome, yet the transformation, it doesn't go without complications. It gives him brain damage. There isn't much left of the gnome he used to be. They'll have to make the necessary adjustments for the future. Well, Kervo, he got what he wanted. And he now has all the time in the world to enjoy it. And where one gnome finds his way to Mechagon, others soon follow. Ting Master Overspark. He's caught wind of a mysterious vault been discovered in Tidegard. This vault could be the very first step to discovering King Mechagon's true fate, and we're asked to assist him with the examination.
Just imagine, hero, a vault full of lost technology left behind by the last king of the gnomes. What if King Mechagon is inside? What if I rescue him? I'll be famous! We will be famous. Let's go.
I will store our luggage until we return.
Look, this is clearly ancient gnomish technology.
I concur, but that doesn't mean that this is Mechagon.
Of course it's Mechagon! This is the discovery of a lifetime! Good luck! Gila, please take notes. I want to record our actions for future study.
Tinkmaster's log. Under the expert leadership of Tinkmaster Overspark, the team has entered the vault.
This is incredible! My fellow Tinkologists, we have made a great discovery! The technology in this vault is still intact! If we can unlock its secrets, we will surely find Mechagon! Now, let the examination begin!
The Tinkmaster's examination of the vault has begun.
This vault screams of ancient gnomish tech, and he believes this could be the key to lead us to King Mechagon. All we need to do is get the communication relay up and running again by getting the gears moving and hooking up some of the power lines.
Brothers and sisters of nomanity, for generations, the curse of flesh has condemned us to obsolescence. But no more. At long last, the perfection of our original Titan Forge design will be restored. All who are worthy shall join me in Mechagon and be cleansed of the old god's corruption. Step forth and be judged in the eyes of invention. Together, we will reclaim our true legacy.
The communication device gives us tri-dimensional coordinates to show us the way to Mechagon and meet with the king, but not all of the races are going to be welcome.
Incompatible presence detected. Unworthy subjects will be neutralized.
Unworthy? I hand-picked these Tinkologists myself! They're the best and the brightest! This can't be right! It's malfunctioning!
Amazing! The expedition has been saved by the Tinkmaster's technological expertise.
Oh, most perplexing. I couldn't find a failsafe protocol. Thank you, Gila. And now, with the coordinates in hand, our next stop is Mechagon. Miss Crosswires, please assemble a team in Paralis. I must send condolences to the families of those we lost.
Right away, Tinkmaster.
No other races welcome, except for the gnomes. Now Overspark and the Alliance, they're of course not the only ones that hear about this discovery. On the Horde side, we have the Goblin Gaslow, together with Skagit, that are ready to check out the vault for themselves. Of course, they believe that Mechagon, it's just a gnome fairy tale. But he is indeed very interested on getting his hands on whatever tech is in the vault. We meet up with them just as Overspark comes outside.
Plenty more with
Someone's
it?
coming. Get behind the rock. Glorious! This is the greatest discovery of our time! Mechagon!
Mechagon? That's just a gnomish fairy tale.
Be quiet.
Naturally, I will lead this expedition. A matter of this magnitude demands it. I'm afraid there's no room for you in my gyrocopter. You'll have to wait for Gila to pick you up.
He's not sending Gila to come get us, is he?
Not a chance.
Coast is clear. Let's go acquire some new tech.
Goblins! Quick, break the machines!
Give me the loudmouth, Jack. We'll make her talk.
Ice the rest of them.
The quick gnomish sabotage has us do the same as the Alliance does. We fix the cogwheels, we hook up some power, yet something did quite a number on those that came before us.
This gnomish technology is way out of your league, simpleton.
I'm a lot of things, know me, but I ain't no simpleton. All right, let's crank this baby up and see what happens.
Step forth and be judged in the eyes of invention. Together, we will reclaim our true legacy. Incompatible presence detected. Unworthy subjects will be neutralized.
Uh-oh, that can't be good. Got it! Get that thing under control! Hang on, I got an idea. Give me that gnome! Hey, Bright Eyes! Over here!
Phew! Looks like you handled that situation, boss.
Yeah, good thing we kept one around. Now we got a lead on the next location. Ha! This has gotta pay off!
Another set of tri-dimensional coordinates is pumped out by the machine. What a tech that the king was wearing, it's making Gaslow drool. We have to get our hands on that. But if we're going to Mechagon, we'll have to do it right. A good crew died today on his watch, and that's not happening again. This time, we'll build up the expedition right.
Quick thinking with the gnome, boss. Shame about the crew, though.
Pay out the life insurance to their families. Full value, no haggling.
You got it. They'll appreciate that.
Seeing what happened in the vault, the Alliance decides to bring gnomes into their expedition team. Who better to ask than Saffronetta Flivers, a quick fan favorite first introduced within the novel Before the Storm. There we learned about a former relationship with the Goblin Grizzik Viswrench. The adventures in the book, it has them brought back together. Their love for science and their love for one another, it reignites. Turns out that after the last time that we saw them, they've gone into hiding within Borellis, safely under the protection of the Alliance. Here we see them still experimenting with Azerite and how to use it. Turns out that it makes quite a nice tea. Of course she's down with going to Mechagon, but only if her husband comes with. Thankfully the island itself, it doesn't have any massive protection against other races, so with a slick disguise, we'll make sure that there's no trouble from Overspark. We also talk to Car Captain Winklespring to bring in the necessary skilled pilots to get us to the island. With that, we're ready to fly to Mechagon.
I must say, Grizak, your outfit is quite, peculiar.
It's for the, radiation poisoning, right, sweetie?
Right, the radiation from Nomuragon, where I am definitely from.
Tinkmaster Overspark, Grizek and I want to thank you for the opportunity to accompany you to Mechagon.
Ordinarily, I would not have made the offer. You've never been patient with your lab work, Saffronetta. Which explains why you gravitated towards the Explorers League.
Told you not to say anything.
However, that impulsive drive also makes you the perfect fit for this expedition. I need brash dare-do-alls like you and Grizek to lead the way into the dangerous unknown.
I think he's saying we're expendable.
I think they're shooting at us!
This must be a misunderstanding! King Mechagon will obviously want to meet me!
Don't worry! I've never had a crash I couldn't walk away from!
Despite everything pointing towards the king not wanting us here, Overspark simply believes that it was a mistake. Ah well, we have made it to the fabled Mechagon, the greatest discovery of our age.
Take care now! and Grizek ran ahead, no doubt to prepare the town for my arrival. Ah! Dust yourself off, hero! King Mechagon will surely wish to address us personally!
Assistance required in Sector W2!
Not quite the reception I had envisioned.
Your people have been through so much, Prince Erasmin. We are...
Greetings, King Mechagon! I am Tinkmaster Overspark. I have come to introduce your technology to the entire world!
I am not King Mechagon. He is my father, and he is a madman who must be stopped. We were all exiled from the underground city of Mechagon. Our goal is to...
Wait! This place isn't Mechagon? Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get going!
I think what Tinkmaster Overspark means is... Of course we'll join your cause, Prince Erasmin. That's why we're here.
Well, Gazlowe, of course, has not been sitting still. All the supplies have been ordered from Sugar Blastcaps and her sister Quizla. The sister hung out with Keorip, which you might remember seeing an alternate Draenor. One time, that's all it took. And suddenly she thinks that she's in the Laughing Skull clan. She's been insufferable ever since. But the job that we got for them, it will at least keep her busy for a bit. Transport is then provided by the Goblin Ricket, who's just showing off the beautiful upgrades that she has made for Uruka Windrunner's boats. Magar and Goblin technology coming together at last. Then all we need to do is promise the world to the Goblin Union. Just give them whatever they want to put them back to work. It's time to get this show on the sea, as Gazlowe, at least he is smart enough to consider the possibility that the king will greet us guns blazing.
This is Mechagon? Don't look like much from up here.
Don't let the landscaping fool you. Check out those rampaging bots on the shore.
Bots on the shore? Let's bomb them! Whee!
Hammer 'em, Jack!
Reckless targeting, but exceptional results.
Potential reinforcements have arrived. We must inform the prince.
Yeah, tell him Gazlowe's grease monkeys are here and we're on his side. Whatever side that is.
We'll own this island in no time. Now King Mechagon, he won't be happy that we're here on his island. But a cruel king like that, he's going to have enemies. Something that the Horde knows better than most. While Skagit and the crew set up base on the beach, we're gonna find some allies to shield us from the king's wrath. As the alliance makes the introductions to the prince, we show up as well.
I could use another spanner here.
Looks like these gnomes got some serious problems. I can work with that.
Of course we'll join your cause, Prince Erasmin. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and that's why we came out here too. Sign us up.
Ha! As if the Horde would help anyone. Your bloated trade prince doesn't know the meaning of the word.
Don't mind him, Prince. Me and my crew are willing to lend a hand. Just tell us what needs doing, and we'll do it.
With your assistance, we can foil my father's schemes and save my people. Welcome to the Rustbolt Resistance. Nothing is ever truly finished. Gazlowe, Overspark, please accompany me. I must assert that the Resistance does not tolerate infighting. Friendship between you is not a requirement, but cooperation is. Process this information as we proceed. You may have noticed that Rustbolt is not currently operating at peak efficiency. Mechagon's forces recently raided the settlement. Many of us were apprehended, or worse.
It doesn't make sense. Why would King Mechagon do that to his own people?
My father was once a visionary, but now he has transformed himself into a heartless machine. He will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. The Rustbolt Resistance is all that stands in his way.
It's uncertain how much time has passed between the comic and us setting foot on the island, but I doubt it will be a whole lot of time. It is clear that the king is not happy with his son, as the resistance faces fierce attacks from Mechagon and has to rebuild their base quite often. Most are simply killed off in the attacks, but those that the king finds worthy for mechanization, their best scientists, tinkerers and engineers, they're held prisoner until it's time to change them. That means we still have time to save them, while also taking out those whose minds have already been converted, and gathering some scrap to rescue Pascal, K1 and 6. They pride themselves in finding innovative ways of reusing technology. On the island, you always find a project to work on. There's always a place to dump the materials that will quickly fill up your inventory.
Excavation commencing. I heartily endorse this promising development. Freedom!
Indeed. Please return to Rustbolt and aid in the rebuilding efforts, Pascal K1N6. The Resistance has great need of you.
Their people. They're safe for now, but King Mechagon is not going to stop sending his armies at us as long as he does not fear us. We must send him a message by sending his HK-8 aerial oppression unit running and proudly shine the banner of the Rustbolt Resistance.
Current rate of damage inadvisable. Returning forward.
Now that was an optimized application of force! Meet me back in Rustbolt. We must rebuild before Mechagon's next offensive. As you can observe, we take pride in our ability to refurbish and repurpose technology. However, we also value our organic components, our emotions and memories, our personalities. My father does not share that view. He intends to mechanize the entirety of our people, willing or not. The choice to install upgrades belongs to each of us. No one can strip us of that autonomy. It seems we have an impressive haul today, Christy.
Yes, sir. Their tech is improving. We can hardly keep up.
The extent of this mechanization. Is there even a gnome left in there?
I have yet to determine that. King Mechagon has converted over 99% of their physical composition.
We will stop him. We must stop him. Most of the Resistance still have family and friends within Mechagon. We fight not only for our own freedom, but for theirs as well. If my father succeeds, then all of us will end up like that machine on the wall. He'd erase everything that makes us who we are. We cannot allow that to happen. Thank you for your assistance, but there remains much more to do.
And that's the story behind Mechagon Island. Now, the heroes of the Alliance and the Horde, they find themselves in the middle of a rebellion. Rustbolt needs aid with building up its base, its forces, improve itself, as much as they would like to improve our natural enemy, until it's time to actually enter Mechagon itself and take on the forces of the king directly. That won't be available until the raid opens up, whereas the story on the island that also unlocks the further you get with reputation. That means I haven't seen everything of the island quite yet, but one quest that definitely stood out, that was Chromie showing up and showing us a Rustbolt. A Rustbolt in another time and place, where very little is alive and everything is machines. This is a timeline in which a hologram of King Mechagon appeared in the middle of Rustbolt, declaring his victory. Then he activated the Mech Originator. There was a large blast, fire and panic everywhere. Most of them were okay, but those without mechanization, they were not so lucky. It didn't even really reverse the curse of flesh. It appears that the king's machine, as was shown in the comic, it's still faulty. Instead, it ignited the skies and burned the flesh of most every living thing. In this alternate time, we scan the memory banks of defeated robots. Knowledge of the future that will hopefully let us prevent it from happening. But while we're here, we might as well help out in this alternate timeline. As we see, Bondo Big Block, he sold them out. In exchange for full mechanization, he built giant robots and then attacked Rustbolt. He's a clear loyalist to the king and deserves to be taken out. While in our reality, he isn't that friendly either, insulting some of the mounts that the heroes ride on, because of course, nothing compares to what he can make. Say you get frustrated by those insults. Perhaps you want to make a visit to his fight club, hidden away behind a waterfall. The entrance, it only opens up if you have Grumble Grimhammer visiting Rustbolt, but when it is available, it's a massive free-for-all fight over the chest, very similar to the Gurubashi Arena. The rest, as far as I've experienced it mainly is to give you a taste of what's to come in Mechagon itself, as well as decking yourself out with the Ada Pascal. You can get toys, item upgrades, mounts, you can zoom around the island with a jetpack, you can visit alternate realities, there's a massive gun in your hand, you can chase down different rares, upgrade your town, until we're ready to hit Mechagon. All in all, I'm still very excited to discover this island more, see different visitors, different quest lines. I remember Mayloon showing up, the dryad that you might remember from the Druid Order Hall. She showed up with the power of Nordersil in her hands. She was like, go help grow back some trees. Yeah, I am very, very happy Mechagon. I feel like I could spend a lot of time here. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've been going on for long enough, and it's very warm today, so let's wrap things up. Say that anything major story-wise unlocks later down the line, then I'll be sure to cover it during my story of Mechagon itself. And for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. You could subscribe if you like my videos. Perhaps you want to leave a like on this one if you enjoyed it. And until next time, guys. See ya!